we want to learn all we can about you. This map is dedicated to learning about things that make you happy. So let's get started and make it snappy. Have the best time and learn what you can. And always remember that we're your biggest fan.
Good morning, my friend. It's going to be a beautiful day. So it's time to rise and shine and play. Let's begin our exciting adventure into learning and start your smart gears turning.
Pants, shirt, socks, and shoes are last. That's how I get dressed so fast. Getting dressed all by yourself is the best way to start every morning. Pick your favorite shorts, shirt, shoes, and 2 socks. Whichever outfit you pick out, I'm sure it rocks.
I'm kind of a famous inventor, but the one invention I haven't been able to run is my Room Cleaner Upper 2001. So for now, I have to keep it clean with my own 2 hands. So make sure you keep your room clean every day, and your parents will say yay!
Sometimes when I'm feeling sad or mad, I just read a book to my favorite teddy bear, and I instantly feel glad. When I'm feeling happy or silly, I like to dance and giggle, which I call the diggle.
Paintbrushes and crayons are 2 of my favorite things. I love to draw and create amazing scenes. Do you have any favorite things that you can share and show to people everywhere?
Once upon a time is how they all start. A princess marries the knight, and the wizard does his part. I love all these stories so much that I know them all by heart. Fairy tales are great stories that we have all read while getting ready for bed. This map is dedicated to all those dragons breathing fire and smoke and the magician and his cloak.
I love all stories about fairies and sprites. The fairy dust so colorful and their wings so bright. Books with fairies seem so fun. Oh, I wish I could be friends with one.
A king, a queen, and a princess, all wearing the finest of dress. They wear their crowns and rule the land, always lending a helping hand. This special group of 3 is known as the royal family.
I would love to be a wizard, like all the stories I read, where the wizard is hero and stops the wicked deed. He saves the day in such a noble way. He uses his magical powers in a confident way.
Look over there! It's a dragon flying by! I wonder if he's coming by to say hi! Do not worry, yells the knight on his horse. I will make sure he changes his course. I love stories about dragons and knights protecting the castle with all their might.
Fairy tale books are amazing to read. They take us to faraway places indeed. You can fight beside a knight, or fly off to fairyland, or find out what a dragon does firsthand. Open a book and you will find people and places of every kind. Open a book and you can be anything you want to be.
Alice was a curious girl to give chase and ended up in such an unusual place. A wonderland full of characters so extraordinary, some might even seem scary. This map is dedicated to White Rabbit and the Cheshire Cat's grin. And that's where our story begins. So, down the rabbit hole you must venture and begin this wild adventure.
The White Rabbit started this whole mess, running by Alice looking so stressed, repeating, "Oh my fur, oh my whiskers, I'm late, I'm late, I'm late!" What a curious sight to see. A rabbit with a timepiece? Down the rabbit hole we must go. What's at the bottom? We don't know.
The Cheshire Cat with the Cheshire grin. He is so confusing, he makes my head spin. Appearing and disappearing, he is such a riddle. I am not sure if he is done or starting in the middle.
The Mad Hatter's tea party is my favorite part. It's where he and the March Hare come apart. They have both gone mad because they are stuck in time and have to drink tea when they hear the 6 p.m. chime.
Caterpillar on a mushroom, and he is so rude. Why does he have such an attitude? His questions are confusing, and his sentences are curt. Alice is not sure if she should interrupt or be hurt. "Who are you?" is all he says in an unfriendly tone, and it only makes her feel like she's all alone.
Her temper is short, and her outbursts are loud. Up with their heads, she yells at the crowd. The Queen of Hearts rules with an iron fist. Just hope we don't ever make her list.
Family of bears are just enjoying their day. They have no idea what's on its way. Goldilocks just made herself comfy cozy. I can't believe she was so nosy. This map is dedicated to finding porridge that's just right, and a bed that's a perfect height. And to 3 bears that were just trying to start their day, and it was so rudely interrupted in an intrusive way.
Goldilocks went into the forest too deep. Now she's lost and must find a place to sleep. A cute cottage she has stumbled upon, and lucky for her, its occupants are gone. She is going to just peek inside, is what starts this wild ride.
Mama Bear's porridge is too cold. I am not sure. It might be old. Her chair is too low to see. I don't think it's the chair for me. Lastly, her bed is too soft. I might not be able to get off.
Papa Bear's porridge is on fire. Cooling off time it will require. His chair is way too tall. It makes her feel way too small. His bed was as hard as stone. It will never feel like sleeping at home. She still has mommies and baby stuff to test, to find the one that fits her best.
Baby Bear's porridge is just right. I think I will take just one bite. This chair is the perfect height, and in this bed I'll sleep tonight.
Little Red Riding Hood is off to her grandma's place. She has no idea what she will soon face. A big, bad wolf that is very mean. To take her treats is his evil scheme. This map is dedicated to Little Red Riding Hood, who discovered the wolf was up to no good. She knew that she and Grandma were in danger from this wolfy stranger. Grandma and Red made their escape before they suffered a horrible fate.
It's off to Grandma's house I must go, with a basket full of yummy treats in tow. My mom says that I have to go straight there, don't delay, and definitely don't talk to strangers along the way. I promise I will stay on the path and not talk to any strangers I see. I want to make sure she knows she can trust me.
You promised your mom that you're going straight to Grandma's and stay on the path. If you wander off, you might feel her wrath. I know flowers and butterflies are so tempting to chase, but you might end up in a scary place. Please stay on the path that is safe from danger, and please don't talk to a furry stranger.
Through the forest she must go. She doesn't want to be late for her grandma, you know. When out of the shadows steps the wolf so tall. "Where you going?" he asks with a drawl. "To my grandma's house," she says with a smile. "It's up there, almost a mile." The wolf was fast and beat her there, and waited for her with a stare. The big bad wolf is hungry and wants some food. He's tricked Grandma really good. Disguised in Grandma's pajamas and hat, he is ready for a savory snack.
Little Red Riding Hood, what a smart girl. Grandma looks a bit rough, so she calls the wolf's bluff. You're not my grandma, I see, so I'm going to count to 3 before I flee.
Jack and his mom need a helping hand to help them save their precious land. Jack trades their last cow for some magic beans, but no one knows what this really means. Overnight, the beanstalk just grew and grew. Climb to the top is what he must do. This map is dedicated to Jack and the Beanstalk, and to the giant and all his gold. It's quite a story to be told.
Walking into town one day, Jack met an interesting man on the way. The man offered Jack some magical beans, but Jack wasn't sure if he had the means. The man said he could pay with his cow, and Jack said, "Wow!" He ran home to show them to his mother, assuring her they were like no other.
Overnight, the beanstalk grew and didn't stop. It's so tall I can't see the top. This is my last hope to help make things right. I have to climb with all my might. At the top is an enormous castle so grand, there must be something in there to save my land.
Jack stumbles on a goose that lays golden eggs, which ends up being his lucky day. Quickly, he can't make a peep because the giant's fast asleep. He grabs the goose in one hand, and to make it to the bottom was his only plan. He and the goose are now in the clear. Now he and his mom have nothing to fear.
He had to go back up to save the weeping harp, who sang such a beautiful song. He left her the first time and it just felt wrong. He headed back up and grabbed her as quickly as he could, while the giant was asleep. The giant came awake with a shake. He came after Jack to get his heart back. Jack made it down to the bottom so fast and cut the beanstalk down with an axe.
3 little pigs were sent on their way, and they have to build their own place to stay. All 3 pigs know that the big bad wolf is lurking, and they should start working. But only one pig took his mom's warning to heart and built his house really smart. This map is dedicated to the big bad wolf's huff and his puff, and to the 3 little pigs who learned some stuff.
First little pig had a date at the spa, so he hurried and made his house out of straw. He didn't think the wolf would appear, so he made it in haste without fear. So when he heard, little pig, let me in," he replied, "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." The wolf replied with a deep breath, "Then I will huff and I'll puff and I will blow your house in." And that's when the straw began to spin. The house began to disappear under his feet, and he had to run in defeat.
Second little pig, he had a different design. He made his house out of twigs and twine. Trees are so strong and stand so tall, so his house should be able to withstand it all. When he heard little pig, let me in, he replied, "Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin." The wolf replied with a deep breath, "Then I will huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house to rubble." And that's when he realized he was in trouble. As the twigs began to blow, he realized to his brothers he must go.
The 3rd little pig knew he had to make his house strong, and knew making it with bricks he couldn't go wrong. With blueprints in hand and a well-formed plan, he knew he would have the upper hand. He and his brothers then heard the wolf say, little pig, let me in." And the pig answered, "Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin." The wolf replied while taking a deep breath, "Then I will huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house down." And that's when the wolf began to slow down. The wolf couldn't make the house move, and he realized he had something to prove. He decided he needed a new plan of attack, and down the chimney was his new track.
Into a tornado is where they went, and into the magical land of Oz is where they were sent. We need to find the right track, so we can find our own way back. Let the yellow brick road be your guide, to the Emerald City where the wizard resides. A scarecrow who needs a new brain, a heart for Tin Man who has rusted in the rain. The cowardly lion whose courage was lost. They must get to the wizard no matter the cost. This map is dedicated to all the friends who met along the way, and in each other's hearts they will stay.
A walking, talking scarecrow who is standing tall. The only problem is he's not scary at all. If I only had a brain, he says so sadly, that Dorothy knows she has to help him badly. He joins Dorothy on her journey to get home, and to get him a brain to fill his dome.
Tin Man and his missing heart is my favorite character in The Wizard of Oz. The way he helps Dorothy and the others is worth our applause. He started off rusted and couldn't move, but as time progressed, he did improve.
The cowardly lion is my spirit animal. He looks so fierce, but is so gentle. He lost his courage and wants to be brave. He seeks Dorothy to help them on their way.
The Wicked Witch of the West. Her skin turned green. I think it came from her being so mean. She's upset that Dorothy landed on her sister when her house fell from the twister. Those silver shoes should be all mine. So an evil plan she began to design. Dorothy ends up outwitting her at last, and home she was sent really fast.
With the click of my shoes, it's away we go. But don't forget my dog, Toto. I always say there is no place like home. And after this big adventure, I would rather not roam.